Greetings and welcome to the Astronomy Picture of the Day podcast. Today's picture for June 17th of 2025 is titled Rosette Nebula Deep Field. So what do we see here? Well, here we're going to turn this image a little bit so it fills the screen a little bit better, and we see the region around the Rosette Nebula. Now, where is the Rosette Nebula here? Well, this is a very deep image, making it a little harder to find and stand out as compared to other images that we may have looked at of the Rosette Nebula, where we're really looking primarily at that nebula. And it's actually off to the upper right here as we take a quick look at that and see that nebula there. That is what is known as the Rosette Nebula. And at the center is a cluster of stars, and you can kind of see a little bit how those stars are eating away at the material. They're hollowing out the interior of that. And eventually, could we come back in tens of millions of years, they would continue that process, continue pushing that material away until what would be left behind is just an open cluster of stars. Just a cluster of stars, very young still, but losing some of that material. We're seeing an early stage of the birth of those stars right now, where they're just starting to break out of their cocoons, and we're still seeing a lot of that surrounding material from which they formed. Around, we see a lot of that material scattered around as well in other regions here where stars are still in the process of formation. Now, the colors here are actually associated with three different elements. So this is what is called a narrow band image. So not a true color image that you would see. Could you actually see this kind of thing with your eye? But looking at the light of three specific elements, and the ones that are commonly used are the light of hydrogen, the light of ionized sulfur, and the light of doubly ionized oxygen. And you put the filters for each of those, look at just those specific wavelengths, and then put those images together. Now, not just three images, but there are multiple images of each one that are then put together to bring out all of the detail. That helps us to see a lot more. Why the narrow band images? That's because that highlights the gas. Those are the specific wavelengths that the gas is emitting. So while the stars are still visible, the stars emit a continuous spectrum, all the different wavelengths. The nebula is only emitting the light of those specific elements that happen to make it up. So that allows us to trace the detail within the nebula a lot better. Now, we see the different colors they're associated, and you might think that means that tells you where the elements are present. And that's not really the case. It really is telling you more about the temperatures, because it takes a certain temperature to excite each of these elements, and they're excited to different amounts based on the temperature. So what it means when you see the element there and you see it glowing, that means that it is just at the right temperature to really excite all those atoms. It does not mean that parts of this nebula are made up of sulfur or oxygen. Really, the entire nebula is hydrogen gas. 90% of the atoms here are hydrogen. But there are regions where, because of the temperatures, the hydrogen gas may not be as well excited, whereas the sulfur or oxygen would be. And that really allows us to trace and to learn more about this star-forming region. So that was our picture of the day for June 17th of 2025. It was titled Rosette Nebula Deep Field. We'll be back again tomorrow for the next picture, previewed to be not a crater. So we'll see what that is about tomorrow. And until then, have a great day, everyone, and I will see you in class.